Samson. Alright guys, I think I'm going to get dragged up, or dragged the wrong way, but good morning, or maybe I'll wait with the good mornings until Samson's under control. That's right, buddy. So, today, come on buddy, good boy, I know the girls are the other way. Today's video, I'm going to host for you. I have lots planned, and I'm not sure how much we'll get through. I've been up with the poor sick Evelyn all night long, so she's just woken up and feeling a wee bit better, but I can get the luxury of sleeping in, so I am quite tired. Alright mate, through here. Alright, you run off. Oh. So Samson is going to, hopefully very willingly, go and get into some stranger's car. Not strangers to me, but strangers to him. They have some female goats that need servicing, and I'm thinking, rather than him being stuck in a paddock on his own without his regular ladies, why not allow him to join the girls somewhere else. They have lots of grass, the goats are healthy, so it's a win for him and a win for us because it's free grazing. And then by the time he comes back to our place, come on Samson, we may very well put him with our younger goats that haven't been bred yet, and then go from there. So I think this might be a great option. So I've managed to get the big old, oh where is he? Here we are. How do you get out of that big old boy into the milking stand? And I'm just going to make sure his feet are all in order before he leaves here, which he his feet have always grown really slowly, which is fantastic. Means we don't have to clip them quite as often as some of the other goats, but do want to make sure that if he's getting all excited and running around, that his footwear is in good shape. So as usual, he didn't need too much trimming. You could definitely tell that he's been walking on wet ground, and we're going to have a lovely conversation about wet ground in just a bit. So for now, I get him ready up on the drive and wait for his ride to arrive. So I am back down the bottom. Samson hopped into his ride without a glitch, and while everyone's happy inside, I thought I would come and check on all my lovely goats and check on their grass, and talk about mud. Well, not just mud, also to pick your brains. Sorry, I should not be talking while eating. You want it? You want it? Yeah. Also to pick your brains about future house cows. So currently we do milk, well, not right this second, but once they have their babies, we'll be back into milking the goats, and we usually get plenty of milk to drink, sometimes a little bit left over to play around with. The biggest challenge with goat milk is to gather enough cream to make butter, to make butter with, basically. And so, you're right. So we have been pondering on the whole house cow thing, but we are on clay, And during winter it just gets so muddy, even without having a cow plonk on all. I mean, look, this is our drain in one of the paddocks, and it is just water. Hello, what are you doing up the tree? And I'll go through and show you some more of just basically what it's like in winter without a cow. But first I'm going to check on my lovely girls. So nothing really exciting happening here today. Girls are definitely developing udders, which is always the very first sign that they're getting closer to having their babies. Tinkerbell behind me over here, I suspect she may actually be the first one to go, and she is the one that usually needs the most help, not with giving birth itself, but her babies typically can't latch. Her udders are just not the right shape for whatever reason, and I did say last year I wasn't going to use her again and I would rehome her, but after all the emotions had settled down with what happened last year, I changed my mind. So last year we found her baby too late, and basically it got cold, and we did revive it. It survived for a week or so, and then passed after that, and I decided that's not worth repeating. I will rehome her because she's my favourite goat, and you just don't want to eat your favourite animals, right? So that was the plan. And then when all the emotions died down, I sat and thought about it, and realistically speaking, there is no guarantee that the next owner isn't going to use her for breeding, and they don't know necessarily what they're in for, so it wouldn't necessarily avoid that sad situation from happening, and I can't guarantee that I won't be there in time this time, although I will definitely be trying. However, looking at the bigger scale of things, if you look at the dairy industry, which I know we're obviously not a dairy farmer, but honey, are you okay? Are you limping? Or you just don't want to get your feet wet? See, mud. This is Feta. Are you limping, or you just... No, Feta just doesn't want to get her feet wet. Okay, you did it. You did it. You got over the ditch. Right. So, if we look at dairy industries, they essentially, you know, what do they do with all the cows? They don't keep all of them. So, if we manage to not get there in time and the baby passes, I will emotionally disconnect myself from the situation and see it as a necessary byproduct to produce the milk, which is essentially what we're after. Do I want it to go wrong? Absolutely not. I will try my absolute bestest to be there in time. Can I promise her I'll be there in time? No, I cannot, but we will work with what we've got. So, back to the mud. Just listen to my feet. Yep, that's our paddocks in winter. So, not the entire paddock, obviously, where it's dipped, things like that. That's what it's like. We're on clay here, so the water just doesn't want to drain away. There's more solid parts of the paddock, but you can imagine with the weight of a full-grown cow that this might somewhat, and it used to get quite get quite pugged up, and once it gets pugged up, the grass definitely stops growing, which I have waited many years to be able to rotate the goats like we are now and not have to worry about where the next meal is coming from. So I don't know whether it's worth sacrificing the grass growth and the health of our paddocks and our goats for a cow, which one cow is not going to stay one cow because she's going to need a calf to get into milk, and either you keep the calf, raise it till it's big enough to eat, or I guess you could sell it as a calf and then not have to worry about feeding it. But I'm not sure where we're going to get there. So, opinions, what do you guys think? Too wet, not ever going to work, worth a shot, ideas on how we could make it work? We'll get into that a little bit later because I have got an idea and we're definitely going to try it, but it'd be good to see what the wider knowledge of people out there think. Right, back to mud or water. Come on. Alright, can you walk for me? You're just going to stand up. No. Louie. Hi, biggies. You guys are not helping with the mud situation. So, a lot of my decisions are being based upon what I'm observing now and what we've observed in the past. So we've had cows in the past. I know they've pugged up the ground, turned it into a muddy mess. And cows are obviously a lot heavier than the emus and the ostrich. But just even watching them walking, and we haven't had a super wet winter yet, but just watching them walking, I can see, you know, the ground beneath their feet giving way a little bit. Now they have pads, so they're not pugging, but nevertheless. Hi Louie, do we get to see something other than your neck? Hey, do not eat the camera. No, 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 no. Hello you. So even then I can see the ground pugging. I mean, it's a mud hole around their water trough, so we know for next year winter might be better off putting it on a metal pad. The pond absolutely to the brim with water, which actually means it's doing its job. And I do wonder if we dug out the drains further through the paddock, whether it would somewhat drain faster or better. So that's something to look at, but it is mud everywhere. Oh yeah, so our creeks are full, the pond is full, there is mud everywhere. A cow, a full grown cow, is not going to help that situation. So how do we get to the point where we can have the cow and not ruin the pastures? My solution to this problem, which is I guess where your opinion would be appreciated, is to build a shelter or a barn, whatever you want to call it, a shed, something to house the cow in over winter or over the wet months when it's really, really wet. Big things, maybe the cattle race may be big enough if we were to build a shelter over that, which looking at it actually is bigger than I thought, and for one cow could be alright. My thought was, we have this big stretch over here behind me. It's kind of a side shoot off the farm driveway. Why not build something there and then have it slightly bigger so that If we do end up growing out a cow for beef, or we decide to get some other animal that needs the use of the shelter, we could then make it big enough to house more than just the one cow. Would she be locked up all winter? No, I would give her the driveway, which is covered in grass as it looks. It has got metal underneath or gravel underneath, so it shouldn't get too pugged down. And then obviously we would have to heavily feed out. So A, would it be worth the money in feeding her out as opposed to the milk you would get? And B, is that something that would even work? Let me know what you think. Obviously getting a calf would be another whole different side of the story to think about, but my thought is, and I have been offered a Jersey calf from the coming calving season from my brother-in-law's dairy farm. Why not raise this calf, who will obviously start off small and not put too much pressure on our pastures with the goats, so she gets a feel for her home and what that looks like, because there's not going to be lots of cows running around. She'll have to make friends with the goats and the sheep, and then we can monitor how it goes with the pasture as she grows bigger, and it also gives us time to put up a shelter for her in the winter, and see how that goes. And then if it doesn't work out, she will hopefully be well trained and find a home somewhere else that would also like a Jersey milking cow. So in my mind, we can't lose this way. Let me know what you think. Either way, my mind's made up. We're getting the calf and we'll see where it goes from there. You guys might have some good ideas we can use to make this story a success. So now that we've brought Samson, or he got picked up to his new home, or temporary home, and we've walked around, checked on the goats, talked about mud, cows or calves, there's one thing left to do, and that is, well, we all love opening presents, right? Not really a present, but a box nonetheless. So I have done a big order to get ready for the baby goats. We're hoping to get some more baby sheep in, some lambs, some girl lambs, so that Rufus has a few more girls to run around with, and then we can split the sheep off from the goats, which would be nice. So we've got supplies, and well, we all love to open a gift, so the kids are going to help me open this and see what treasures they find inside. Alright guys, so I'm inside with some of the kids who are keen as a bean to open this box and see what's inside of it. Like I said, it's going to be... Theo, do you mind? Be careful with pointing that knife, please.
No.
Like I said, it's all stuff that is for being prepared for when baby goats and lambs arrive, and just some other bits and pieces for around the farm. So let's see. Go on, Theo. Watch Raven's fingers. And your own fingers. Maybe cut away from your hand, babe.
No, it won't stop.
He's dangerous.
Good, and then you got to cut all along the middle there.
Oh no, this is dangerous.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
Do not do this at home.
I'll just start it for you so you know where to go. Okay,
Oh.
follow that.
Mum, you almost cut Theo's belly off.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
It's gonna break it.
Number one, roll the knives.
Don't do this to it.
Yay. Alright, yep, let's move
Bridge
that out of the way.
thingies.
Whole bunch of leads. Always much easier to grab babies and mums for milking when they're wearing a collar, so you got something to grab onto.
Hey, you know.
There's a yep, some replacements for the bottles we've already got.
You know it can't see.
This one.
Paper.
Hold on, guys. Alright, this. Hang on, let me just turn around, guys. Can you guys just hold on a minute? Don't unwrap anything else. This one here is the special one.
It's a cow lead. Is it a cow lead?
Yes, this one here is a halter for the calf that I was talking about. So that I'm pretty excited about.
Can I open this one?
Right, Theo, we've got a couple of boxes there. Yep. We got some new toe clippers for the goats. Other ones have gone blunt. Oh, just you want to be careful with how you cut that.
I know that one says it's
Oh, that's another one I'm excited about.
The milk one.
It's
5-litre milk jug.
Oh, you're going to take it out of the plastic. So, when I first started milking goats, I bought, I think it was a 20-litre milk jug, and quite frankly, it's too big. I haven't managed to fill it yet, and it's heavy, so I thought this year I would start with a 5-litre one, and should I need to get another one, I can always do that. But what are you doing there? It will be a lot easier to carry this than the big 20-litre one. So it's all about making life a little bit easier. Replacement parts
the milking machine.
for the milking machine. Good question. I don't know if we're using the milking machine yet. Depends on how many goats there are to milk and how well they're producing. Sometimes it's more of a hassle to use the milking machine. They're not, because it adds probably about an extra 15-20 minutes of cleaning time, which if I'm just milking by hand, I don't have to deal with that. However, my hands can get quite tired, especially after having had a baby. So at some point I will have had a baby, my hands might be a bit tired. So
Mommy,
better to have them and then not to have them when we need them.
Mommy, I don't open.
No, not right now. Matilda, you've got one more bag to open. This one here, Adina and Matilda are super excited about. Raven, if you don't mind moving, we can
She's actually lying. It's only Matilda.
No.
I'm allowed using the poop scooper too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too. Mom, I will out the Matilda's cutting the box. Mom.
So that kind of gives away what is in this last remaining package. They are poop scoopers. So for in the emu and ostrich pen, and especially the pig pen, we can go around and collect the poo with a little bit of ease. Luke was really keen on getting these, so here they are. So look, you go like this. If there's a poo on the ground, hold on, Theo. If there's a poo on the ground, you put that flat down,
Can I open this one?
and you just go whoop. Oh, you guys want to go out and do poop scooping?
Oh, no. I'm not doing that. I want to do it. Not with the big one. I want to do it.
No, we'll wait and do that another day.
No.
While the kids are arguing over who gets to use the poop scoopers first,
I'm not.
I'm going to end the video there. And Matilda, don't stand on the end of the table, please. I'm going to end the video there and look forward to seeing you guys all on the next one. Deb's out.